Parshas Balak. The portion of the Torah that we read this week is from Bamidbar. Perek Chaf Beis starts with Pasuk Beis. That's Numbers 22:2. We're going to talk about Psukim Beis and Gimel. That's 2 and 3. So this is set up. The Torah describes the attempts of Moav and Midian to collaborate in engaging a professional cursor, somebody who could invoke the wrath of the Almighty against his target, whoever that may be. So the king of Moav, Balak, hires Bilam. Why? Hires Bilam to curse the Jews, the Bnei Israel, the children of Israel. Why does he do that? So the Torah tells us straight up, first two verses. It says, Vayar Balak ben Tzipor, Eis kol asher asa Yisrael lo emori. Balak, the son of Tzipor, who was the king of Moav, he saw what the children of Israel had done to the Amorites. They had destroyed them. So, defeated them. He was fearful. He lived in the neighborhood. So what did he do? So what's the consequence of seeing what happened? Vayagar Moav mibnei ha'am ma'od ki ravhu. Moav was fearful of the people because they were great. We'll talk about how they were great. Vayakatz Moav mibnei bnei Israel. And Moav was, we're going to use a imprecise term right now, commonly translated as disgusted. They were disgusted by the Jews. So we have a couple of questions. First of all, why? What's the difference between they were fearful of the people because they were great, and they were disgusted because of the children of Israel. So the verse is not written economically. It could well have simply said, Vayagar Moav Vayakatz, or Vayagar Vayakatz Moav mipnei ha'am. They were fearful and they were disgusted. But we notice that there's another change in the language, in the object of the fear and the object of the disgust. The object of the fear is referred to as ha'am, the people. The object of the disgust, or the cause of disgust, is Bnei Yisrael. Why the difference in expression? Does it tell us something about what is going on and what the motivations are of Moav to engage Bilam as the professional cursor? So, first of all, why are they afraid? It says, Ki Rav Hu, because they were great. What does great mean? Well, it may mean numerous. Rav implies greatness. It can be greatness in number. It can also be greatness in strength. And Rabbi Hirsch says that it indeed refers to both that the nation was numerous and that it was powerful. That is, being feared as a nation. That would be a fear of any nation that was going near your border and had just defeated a neighbor in battle. It seems to make sense to be afraid, either because of their numerosity or because of their power. What's this Vayakatz? Vayakatz, Rashi says something that's not necessarily the first thing that you would jump at. Rashi says, Vayakatz Moav, Katsu b'chayehem. They were disgusted with their lives. In other words, it doesn't say that they were disgusted that Bnei Israel was disgusting. No, it said they were disgusting. Wow, how does that work? Why would the existence or the confrontation or connection with the children of Israel cause the neighbor, Moav, to be disgusted with itself? So there are a few approaches to this, at least this is Rashi's view. As far as the numerosity goes, the Ramban explains that while the Bnei Israel were in Egypt, they multiplied tremendously. It's recorded in the Torah. Moav, on the other hand, increased at a natural, slow, organic growth way. And so, although they may have had comparable sizes at the beginning, Israel far outstripped them in numbers, and this was a cause of great concern. This is the Ramban. The Malbim says that because they saw what happened, they were fearful. In other words, the defeat of the Amori at the hands of the children of Israel. They were fearful. And if they were fearful, they knew that their troops could not win. Troops that are afraid don't have the resolve, the stick-to-itness to defeat an enemy. And so they had to resort to something, to plan B, to engaging someone, to invoking some power of some sort to curse the children of Israel. That part did not work. The Malbim also says that they felt insignificant. In other words, the neighboring people felt insignificance. And he says this is vayakatz, which we know means, or at least we commonly describe it as disgusted, but it also has something in common with the word kotz. Kotz means a single thorn. In other words, they thought of themselves as an insignificant protrusion from a plant, vayakatz, when compared to Israel. Why would that be? So there are two possible reasons that are offered. One of them is that Israel had survived on the basis of miracles. And when you're facing somebody that has all kinds of fantastic things happening to them, you kind of take an emotional backseat and you say, I can't compare. The other is they saw ma'alasam shel Yisrael. This is the language of the Malbim, a certain exceptionalism. They saw that the children of Israel were exceptional. They broke through the common conventional wisdom of idolatry. They were serving one God. They received as a unified nation the Torah, and as a result, they had a creed. They had a mission to follow God's word and to not only be loyal servants of the Almighty, but also to perform mitzvot ben adam l'chavero, to perform acts of positive impact on society. This is a Jewish tradition, starting from then. And when one holds oneself out and compares oneself to somebody who's quite accomplished, so you can either, that person who's quite accomplished can be an object of emulation, and we have a tradition of that that's alluded to in the Shema prayer that we say, V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol medacha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. Simple translation. And Rashi comments that levavcha is written in a long way. It repeats the letter beis. It could have said b'chol libecha, but it doesn't. It says b'chol levavcha with two letters beis. The two letters beis refers to, according to the sages, serving God with your two driving forces, your positive and your negative, your Yetzirah Tov and your Yetzirah Ra. And the question is, how can you serve God with your Yetzirah Ra? And the answer that the sages give is kinas sofrim tarba chachma, that somebody who notes a scholar, one scholar notes another scholar accomplishing great things, he says to himself, I have to do that too. It serves as a source of inspiration. The flip side is not kinas sofrim tarba chachma. It's not improving yourself, but rather wanting to cut the other person down. I remember Rabbi Weinberg Zechor Racha used to say that the reason that negative speech, lashon hara, is so evil, among other things, is that it reduces the speaker's ability to grow. Because, as he said, if you're a short tree among tall trees in a forest, if you want to be great, you either have to grow or you cut down the other trees. By speaking lashon hara, by speaking negatively of other people, by cutting them down, it's an artificial growth. There's a perception of growth because when you compare yourself to another and you've cut them down, you're bigger. But in absolute terms, you haven't grown at all. You might have even shrunk. So, vayakatz, Rashi says, they were disgusted with themselves. Why? Because rather than being inspired by this new revolutionary culture of kindness and devotion, both to God and to fellow man, instead of being inspired by that, they despised the Jews because they set a new standard for conduct in the world. You can either see somebody doing good and despise them for it because it makes you feel small, or you can see somebody doing good and you can say, I too want to be great. I too want to do good. And that's the difference between using the accomplishments of the other as a source of frustration or as a source of inspiration. Have a good Shabbos.